Okay, this is Sarah. Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. This was an unplanned video, but we went to the Museum of Science earlier. You're going to see that in a different video. But then we stopped in Kingston on our way home and went to Fort Southwest Point that we have been to before. And so you might actually see clips of old stuff on this video. But we stopped there. You can tell we're in the car, but we're not moving, so this is all safe. We stopped there because we wanted to waste a little time in this town because we had told the kids that we were gonna get Little Caesars for dinner. We don't have Little Caesars in Maine. So we're sitting outside Little Caesars. They're hot and ready pizzas, we're not ready. So we're waiting for hot and ready pizzas. But we went there to Fort Southwest Point. We had never been there before. I think I say this later in the video, but Fort Southwest Point has been a Kingston city park and it is turning into a Tennessee state park. If you have not been to Tennessee, Tennessee state parks are free. And they are actually hoping that by the end of the year, I think it was, that they're gonna have 70 state parks. They have 56 on the brochure she gave us, but there's already been more added. It's outdated. And they're hoping for a total of 70 state parks. So that was pretty cool. We got a chance to talk to the two park rangers that were there, or the park ranger and the other person that worked there. We had never been inside the education center. It's always been closed when we've been there, which is very weird. But then today, the buildings were all closed. Maybe they were open earlier in the day because they closed the education center while we were gone, like while we were up at the fort. But we went to the education center. You guys, oh, he wants to climb back on my lap. He's crawling around. The education center was very cool. Like I said, we've never been in there. There was what's it called? Cannon in there that they took a picture with our family. We'll put that in there. And the kids all got to wear hats to get their picture done, right? Did you wear a hat? Did you wear a hat?
Yeah, you looked super cool.
And there also were like like mannequins dressed up. There were a lot of artifacts and they had a whole table for the kids to be able to touch. So they had like a bar of tea, like a block of tea. They had flint and steel and the kids got to try to make the flint and steel work. It was just a very cool experience to be able to do that. And then I got video of the fort. I will apologize. I apologize in the video too, but I apologize for all the heavy breathing in that video because we had just hiked up a hill. The kids wanted to go up the grass and there's a big hill to get up to the fort because it makes sense to put a fort on the top of a hill, but I didn't want to climb it. And then the kids ran around and all of that stuff. So it was an extra stop. The best thing about the stop was this stop was not planned at all. We actually went to a different museum in town that was very small and the lady didn't have a whole lot to say, so we decided to go over there. And as we were walking in, we met a couple. They were from Georgia. They saw our shirts and they said something about how our country needs to get back to its Christian roots, basically. And so we started talking to them and they were just talking about history and telling us about, she was saying that, do you know who the real American heroes are? And I was like, no, who are the real American heroes? And she's like, you know, when you go somewhere and you see dad get out of the car and 3 little kids follow him and mom gets out and she gets the stroller out, those are the real American heroes. They were super sweet. And they were traveling up here from Georgia. And so then I asked them if we could know a way to pray for them because we like to pray together as a family. And they said, oh, you could pray for safety and then for the government. And then they said the best thing to do is to pray together. And so they stood up and we all held hands and we had a little prayer meeting right there outside, which was very fun. Multiples of the kids prayed, they both prayed, and we just prayed for the government and all the things that are going on in our country and that the government would turn back to God in a way that we were when this country was founded. And then Mark talked to another guy who stopped to listen to our prayer meeting. What happened with that? Because I wasn't there.
Not much. He was talking about some historical stuff, but he was very encouraged by the prayer meeting.
So anyway, they were very sweet. The couple's last name was Eaton, so you can pray for them. They're just traveling around doing all the history things. And yeah, it was a really good time. It was a real good encouragement that we weren't planning on today. God just put us in the right place at the right time. We had planned to do Little Caesars for dinner, but I actually was planning to go to Lenore City, which is near here, to get pizzas because I didn't know that there was one in Kingston. And when we drove through Kingston this morning, I saw the sign. So because God opened my eyes to see the sign, we decided to get in Kingston because we would do some extra stuff here, and then we ran into that couple. So it's just cool how God puts all those little things together. And yeah, that's how it was. So after I stop talking, you're going to see a bunch of videos, some videos from today and maybe some old videos and pictures from being there in the past. So we'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows. Okay, so pardon the heavy breathing because we just walked up a hill to get here, but this is Fort Southwest Point. And we came around through the entrance here, which was the gate. I'm not sure which gate that is. We're going to find out. And then come this way. There's a, it's 2 levels. And so there's a ladder inside. You can climb up to 2nd level. It is not open today, so I can't go in there. And then we're headed this way to see the kids. It's going to be a little bumpy and you're going to hear me because we walked up that thing and I'm trying to keep up with them, but we'll get up there. Okay, so we've been here before. Everything's closed up right now, but we've been here when they're open. So these would have been like barracks inside. There's a 2nd story. That's where you see up there. There wasn't a whole lot in here, but when we were down at the visitor center, there was a whole container, like a whole table of things that kids could touch, which were like metal plates and flint and steel. They got to try their hand at doing that. There was wool and cotton and flax they could touch. There was all kinds of cool stuff. Are you liking it here?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the 2 buildings they have up right now. They're going to be building a palisade wall all along the edge. So if we go around, there's the extra wood that they're going to do the palisades. Huh?
Go to the chapel.
Hold on. That's the oven they would have used, and there's a fireplace here. And then down here over the hill is the chapel, and the chapel looks closed, but we've actually been in there and sang with other church people before. And it's a cute little chapel that they would have had here on the Fort Southwest Point. Okay, so here are the kids standing on the front of the chapel steps. There's the steeple with a cross. It says Old Guard Chapel on the front.
I mean, the pastor has a garden there.
I don't know. And if you're standing at the front of the chapel, this is the view of the river and then Kingston there across the way. This is a very beautiful park. They have, if you can see over there, they've got disc golf here in the park. They've got lots of walking trails. It's just a really pretty park. And we were told today that this is, oh, hold on, I gotta show you. Do you see this bee flying around? If you're not from Tennessee or wherever, those are called carpenter bees, and they actually eat wood. I don't think they even sting. We've never had any instances with being stung by them. I don't think they do. But there's so many of them here. So anyway, this is a beautiful park, and we were told that it is just now turning from a Tennessee state park to, no, sorry, a Tennessee city park, like Kingston City Park, to a state park. So we actually met a state park ranger there inside, 2 that work for the state park. And so they're going to be getting more stuff here. So it was a good day. We'll talk to you more about it in a little bit. Okay, and an addendum to the end of the video. When Mark mentioned to me about old videos of this place, I thought that he was going to put some in here, but I was wrong. What he was going to do was put a link in the description box below of times we've been there in the past. So go look in the description box and look for more of these. If you like videos like this, subscribe. Tell us what our favorite videos are that we make so that we know what you guys like. We'll see you guys next time on Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God.